Hey friends, what's going on? You've entered the bone zone. It's the bone zone 22,
23.
23.
23, yeah, 22 is last week.
Oh yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, I guess you do. I have it
I'm
popped.
pretty sure.
You're right. I have it popped up like
Okay.
now I have it always in the background just in case. I'm Champ Champenstein,
I'm Heather Hadfield.
and we're here back with another here we're here back.
We're here back.
We're here back to talk about bones, comic books.
Comic boners.
We're here to we are the comic boners. That's I don't
That's a new one. I like that.
I'm gonna stop there.
All right, if you want.
We have a fairly light week.
Yeah.
Um I don't think we're gonna talk about Cillian Murphy's dick this week, so maybe
We'll
maybe it will
see
be.
where this takes us. I might get a little loose-lipped here. I just watched the Quiet Place Part 2 the other night. I've seen it before, but I really like him in that movie, so I watched it again. I don't like the movies because I think they're just poorly made and they're a cheap ripoff of a book that I read. I'm not going to get into it, but he's great in that movie. So, do you want me to go?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, go ahead and talk about some comic books.
Okay.
Let's not talk about movies we hate.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do it. Okay. This is Frank Frazetta's Mothman. This is issue number 2. This is the one that we discovered that the cover Bs are no longer Frank Frazetta covers, so that's a huge bummer. And I think I'm going to take it off my poll just for that alone. And the story itself is just like all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mothman lands in a town where there's like beefing between two families. Think of like the Hatfields and the McCoys, that sort of thing. He talks and it's just very strange. I don't really know how I feel about it. Like it's
Yeah, after I read that first issue, that's like exactly how I felt. So it's like I don't like the fact, like, it's weird that he's an alien, but like we figured out before, it's because it's based off the Rosetta art, and that makes
mm-hmm.
sense that he's an alien. But still, as an alien, why does he speak English?
Yeah, that's
Why
the
is he
weirdest part. But that's the weirdest part for like the whole story. But in this issue, the weirdest part is he befriends the grandma from the first issue.
Okay.
And they get drunk together. And the
Okay.
granddaughter walks in and he gets startled and he tries to fly away and he lands, he's in the ceiling. And she's like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, sorry, I'm like a little inebriated and I didn't know that would happen. So it's like it's a little strange. I've definitely read worse stories about like cryptids and stuff, but this like at least this is kind of entertaining because there are all these like other families and stuff in there and you're like, what the fuck is the point? Like, what are they doing? So that's cool, but it's just I have a lot of mixed feelings on it and I don't know whether or not I'm going to continue reading it.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So I would
I
give it
mean,
probably 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10 popcorns.
Yeah. And maybe like a giant Coke.
We've never had a giant Coke factor in before. I don't know.
Well, I'll let the viewers decide what kind of rating that is.
Okay. I guess I I guess I will go next. I have it's like my old man, like I can see it. I can see it just fine. This is the X-Men Hellfire Gala. This is just the one shot that comes out every year. I tend to like at least enjoy the Hellfire Gala issues.
Is it every year? I felt like it was like every 6 months. That's what
it's
it
been
feels like, but
this is only the third one, so yeah, it's been like
oh dang. I
every
thought
year
that
since like Hickman started.
right. Okay.
So yeah, this is just I don't know, like if I want to say spoilers and just like talk about this book and make people fast forward. So I'm gonna, yeah, spoilers, go forward like 5 minutes. I'll give you a second. So yeah, everybody, like almost all the mutants die. It's it's like one of those things where it's like they start off the gala, they're doing the gala thing, and then there's like an ambush by Orcus, and everybody like lots of people die.
It's so, their relationship with Orcus is so weird because it's like every now and then they'll have like a confrontation, and then like the next issue in whatever series it's in, it's just like, well, this is no longer a problem, and then this kind of shit happens every single time. It's
Yeah,
like,
well, and like Sinister's been working with them, which I think probably came in to play with like the Sons of Sinister stuff more
mhm.
so, and Moira was a huge part of this. Um, but yeah, basically like Xavier, Orcus, and what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? This guy.
Just
Nimrod.
oh, okay, I
Nimrod.
was like, just call him Orchid because I can't think of what his name is either.
uh and, like they basically are like, you gotta call all the mutants through the gates and you can never come back to this area. Basically, like you gotta be gone to Krakoa or wherever. And it turns out that like basically that just vaporized all the mutants that went through the gates.
Mhm.
And Moira stabs Jean Grey with some sort of like blade that has something in it, and Iceman melts because he's also like stabbed with some melting stuff.
I think that would be a worse death than like 75% of the mutant deaths. Like, can you imagine being Iceman and just like slowly melting?
Yeah, that'd be wild, right?
That I would hate that.
Yeah, so it's just a lot happens and it's just like, okay, but like I don't, why?
Did they do the new lineup for X-Men?
Yeah, but they all die. Like they didn't all die, but like it was just kind of like worthless.
Okay.
It was cool because it was like Juggernaut was on the team. It was like a
Oh,
real, it
okay.
was a
Yeah, I was
really,
gonna ask
just
who was on it.
I can't remember. Um, and it was a lot of like newer, let me see. Talon, Sync, Prodigy, Cannonball, Frenzy, Dazzler, Jubilee, and Juggernaut. So that's the team, but like right after they announce it, Nimrod just like drops in and basically explodes them.
Okay. So they didn't even have a chance to do anything X-Men.
No, here's the page.
Yeah, I wanted to read that because the art was really cool in it because it's several different artists, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of different people. And it looks good. It's just, I don't know, man. I guess I
It's
don't
hard to
care.
keep up with all of that stuff, especially because they do create like a new team and they make it like a huge thing every time. And it's like you would think that like one time, okay, one time that makes sense why you wouldn't know something was going to happen. But if it
Mhm.
happened a second time, I'd be like, this is a little suspicious. Hmm. And then when they say like, hey, let's have a third Hellfire Gala, I'd be like, no, do you not remember what happened the first two times? Like something is up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things where, and it also just feels weird to like murder all the mutants right after murdering the mutants. Like you kind of murdered all of them in Sins of Sinister. You murdered a fuck ton an axe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, come on. Come on.
Just yeah, it's not a true crime podcast. It is an X-Men story. Just give us
I,
like the mutant stories without all the murder.
I just give them like, yeah, let them be hero. I guess let them beat up on stuff.
Yeah. I guess they got bored with that. It was just like too vanilla.
All right, that's all I have to say about the Hellfire Gala now.
All right.
It's just, yeah. All right, are you ready?
I am. I'm ready.
Okay. We've got Seasons Have Teeth. This is issue number 4. This is the last issue. This is by Dan Waters and Sebastian Cabral. And Dan Jackson, does he do the
Letters?
colors?
Colors. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
This is Winter. Our photographer friend is kind of a dick. I do like that he was called out in this by like one person to his face and then the other person just like talking about it. I mean, called out. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, this was like a really good series. Like Heather and I were talking earlier, this issue does just kind of end very abruptly, where you're just like even like the flow of the narrative just seems like it's like just yanked out from underneath you, where you're just like, okay, but there's more. There's like got to be a couple more sentences somewhere in here.
Yeah. I I know it's like part of the story in the way that it's told, but I would have liked to see how he got out of each situation, because everyone thought that he was dead every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, does he take the picture and like steal their soul? Like what happened?
Yeah, it does like it gives you a lot of depth in a pretty short amount of time, but also just like does leave you wanting like quite a bit.
And it was a really good story. I truly enjoyed it, especially like for only being 4 issues. It was very interesting. I like that each one was like a different season,
Mm-hmm.
and you got like this whole backstory with this guy and like how he's just not a very good person.
Yeah, kind of just like full of himself.
hmm But I mean, he made it work. He did his whole magnum opus here, which
Yeah.
was supposed to be his wife dying, but apparently it's just taking pictures of seasons. That's fine. His
So he
wife did
can
all
try.
that for nothing.
So he can try and kill himself, basically. Just like
I did like the whole monsterification of each of the seasons. Like they all
that was
looked
very cool.
so cool.
I just like the different things they like really did was
hmm
interesting in different ways. Yeah. No, it was like I said, it was good. It's just like it did leave me wanting like more.
hmm Yeah,
But now I don't want more because it's done.
it's done. Yeah, we got what we needed from it. But yeah,
Yeah.
if each issue was just like a little bit more, it would have been cool. But
Yeah.
it's a Dan Waters story, so it was entertaining at least.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm going to talk about this for about 2 seconds because there's really nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
This is Poison Ivy Uncovered, #1. This is the variant. It's a Dan Mora cover. That was really the only reason I picked it up, but it literally just like the Joker Uncovered one. It's just all of the variants. Well, not all of them, but it's like a lot of the variants from the Poison Ivy series. Yeah, that's it. I really like the covers for a lot of them that were in here. So that's another reason I picked it up. So just a cute little book.
Flipping through, looking at pretty pictures of poison ivy.
hmm If you get real horny,
Out there.
maybe don't pick that up.
I suppose we're called the comic book bone zone, so
Comic boners, come on.
or the comic boners, we're letting you know. Okay, so then I have just gonna move right on. I have Newburn. This is issue number 9. This is back after, I don't know, I think probably like a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Um, so lots of stuff happened in the last story arc, but the person who has been working with Newburn killed a mob boss's son in the past, and she and just one other cop knew about it, and he ran into some money troubles and like I think got a loan from the mob and then couldn't pay it back. Yeah, you know how those things go. And was basically gonna throw her under the bus, to save himself, and stuff happens. And then this picks up afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like really enjoying this, but it is one of those things where, yeah, trying to remember what happened was took a minute, but she does kind of just like she just like reiterates basically like that
Okay.
the last issue, so that helped quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like I should go back and reread those issues, because it's just kind of like still picking it up blind and being like, I remember bits, but I don't remember the last issue 100%.
Right. No, and that's how it was for me too. And I could not remember like where I put those books.
Hmm.
Because I was going to read them again because I knew that it was coming back,
Yeah.
but I don't know where I put them. So I couldn't even like reread them. So that was, you know, a classic mistake.
It truly though, like I wish I could tell you the amount of comics I have literally done the same thing with, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna reread this because it's coming back, and then it's like 6 months later and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it was really frustrating because I remember specifically going down into my basement, going through the boxes and like pulling them off the shelf and like burrowing into the little area where my comics are and pulling them out and being like, cool, I got him. And then like just I blacked out. I have no idea where I put them. So I like went back down there again to like look in the boxes thinking like maybe I just put them back. No, they're gone. They are MIA. I have no idea where they are.
Amazing. So yeah, it's a book by our boy Chip and Jacob Phillips. It's just a detective story. Kind of Newburn works for the mob and it's kind of a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm. He just kind of does his own thing. He's like a PI, but
Yeah.
for people who will pay him.
Yeah. So weird. It's a good book. It's just like one of those things where you are reading a book about somebody you like kind of like but don't really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember that about him.
All right, you ready for the next boy?
Yes.
So this is World Tree. This is issue number 4. Heather did not read this. And she took it off her pull, so
Yeah,
but
so
this
Chaim's
is
gonna be the only one talking about it for now, but yeah, I just didn't get number 3, and so I yeah, and lost.
yeah, because all of our 3s came in damaged, and then we never got replacements for them, which is classic.
Mm-hmm. It's always issue number 3 for series like that too, because I can't tell you how many series I'm missing number 3 for because we just never got replacements in.
But yeah, this is just demon internet. You learn some secrets about Gabriel. I think, yeah, I think he has a last name, but the blonde haired man. You learn some secrets about his family. They try to get the evil internet out of the girl from the beginning of the story. There's one thing to be said about this book: the art is really good.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it looks
I say it
great.
looks so good. Okay,
Like the colors are really good. Like,
and it is like well written. I will give it that. Like I might
mm-hmm.
not enjoy the story itself because I don't know. I've got my feelings on it for sure, but it is well written and well put together. So there's that. Like when I read it, I don't like it. Yeah, it looks sick as hell.
That's
It looks it looks so good.
So cool.
Yeah, that was the thing when I was reading it. I was like, yeah, this is a well crafted book. I get why people like it. I don't enjoy it, but I don't hate reading it. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
like I hate reading it. It's just I need to get to the end of the story arc and then be done with it.
Right.
Or maybe it'll just like finally, pull me in the end where I'm just like, yeah.
You've been sucked in by World Tree.
Exactly.
The
Just
evil
like
net got you.
I was just like the undernet wants me to.
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
how Y2K started.
Oh my God. What if that is the story? That'd be, I don't know. Maybe that would intrigue me.
I would sign out. Like completely. I think I would be done with comics at that point if that is what happened.
They boot up the undernet, it causes Y2K. Okay. I'm gonna talk about this Bone Orchard mythos book, Tenement. This is by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino and Dave Stewart. And this is just about a bunch of people who live in an apartment complex, like on one floor. I think it's 7 people actually. And they kind of get like pulled into, I guess, the Bone Orchard world.
I thought you were gonna say the Bone Zone.
They got pulled into the Bone Zone. That would have been better, right? Looks great. Like I said, this is probably the one I've liked the most so far. It is just one of those things where I feel like with all of these books, I'm just gonna have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like, because obviously I'm getting like the hardcovers and stuff for them, but I'm excited to see like how the story like weaves into each other, like at the end of it. So it is very interesting, and I am super excited to read that. I am kind of disappointed that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all the hardcovers.
I mean, it makes sense because I feel like these are like, the last one would probably be better read altogether. This will probably be better read altogether. I just like, it's just been the best one so far because it's just been more intriguing, and I like the last one, the 10,000 Black Feathers.
Yeah, it just got
like
a little slow at the end is all. Like it was just a
yeah,
weird ending.
and I think like the way it was like interspersed, like the story kind of like was good and bad, if that makes sense. But yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. No, because I felt that like that at the very end of it too. So it was good, but I was just excited to see what else was going to happen.
Okay, I guess I'm ready.
Okay. So we have, oh God, I was like, is that the right book? Yeah. This is Batman, The Brave and the Bold. It's issue number 3. This is just basically what Urban Legends turned into. Just a bunch of short stories. We have the part 3 for the Stormwatch story and the Superman story, and then we also have 2 new beginning stories. I think the baseball one is just its own, right?
Yeah, the baseball one is definitely its own. I don't know, it does feel like the other one is kind of its own, but I guess we'll see.
Okay,
I couldn't really tell by the little logo. That's just
I don't, that's why I kept getting confused when I was okay. Yeah, the first one is just that, thank God. And then I don't know, I would assume that there might be another one.
Yeah, it did feel really short. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I really like these stories. That's the one thing that I liked about Urban Legend too, was just like all the different stories written by different people with different artists and stuff. It was fine. And you know what's funny is I read this first story and it did not even register to me that it was Otto Schmidt.
Is it?
And see, that's until just now.
Yeah.
I just looked at it and was like, oh. That's why I said thank God that was the only one, because I don't want to have to keep supporting that.
Yeah. I haven't caught up on that Stormwatch story yet, so I didn't read that. But I mean, I really liked the end. I still like the Superman story was great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Stormwatch one was really good too. I really do enjoy that one. The art for it is just fantastic. I like it. So just overall, these have been really solid so far. I've just really enjoyed them.
Some Batman.
Batman.
Beatman. Okay, so then next we have Night Terror's Detective. This is number 1. There will be 2 of them. And I told you to get this because it was really good. Yeah,
and the artist, why can I not remember what series this artist did?
For some reason I thought it was the
Last
God. Yeah.
See, is that what it was called? See, I could not remember, but I recognized it obviously, and you can tell it has that same kind of like feeling. Although this one feels more like Hellraiser than it does like.
Yes, I'm so glad to hear you say that because when
Yeah.
I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, this is like a real weird Hellraiser vibes to it. And I was like, I
Yep.
think that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, that's why
Besides,
I liked it too, because that guy, like, I don't, he's so good at making like actual scary looking
I would
monsters.
say, yeah, they're very like unsettling. Like that's why I
Yeah.
was like very like shocked when I was reading this. I was like, because this might be like the scariest DC book I've ever read. Because I was like, this is fucked up. This is
Yeah, no,
all
it's
real fucked up.
it was incredible. And I like the horror version of like the Batman, like the
Hmm.
way that he like, yeah, it was just really, really good. I'm glad you told me to like pick this up because I was very pleased with it.
Yeah, so this is by Dan Waters and then Riccardo Federici who does the art, and yeah, he did the art in the last it's the last god.
Okay, the last
That is
one.
what it's called. Yep. Um yeah, it was I think out of all of the Night Terror books, it's been my favorite so far. I didn't read, I tell you. Last week I read the Titans one, the Harley Quinn one, and the Action Comics one. And all of them were fairly enjoyable. I think out of all of those, like the Action Comics was probably like my least favorite, but this was the best one overall, like out of every single one I've read. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I've only like read the Nightwing one. But this
I
one
mean, that's
I can imagine like compared to this one, what the other ones kind of feel like just based off of reading the Nightwing one as well. Like this one was just like superior because it's a terror. It's a terror story. And this one like was terrifying.
yeah, it's just like if only all of them could be that scary, because that would be
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, oof.
Yeah, very uncomfortable, but I loved it. I thought it was like grotesque. I love the monsters.
Yeah, the monsters were good. Ugh, yeah, the design, like, yeah, the bat design so good. The fact, like, the way like Gordon is like going about all of this is really intriguing. Yeah, just so good. Such a good one. And that's all I got. I don't have anything else.
That's all I got.
Okay. So go to your local comic book shops and buy some comic books. Go to your local libraries, check out some books. There's so many books to choose from. Could also probably check out some like trades and stuff.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
take care of your friends, do good things. Heather, what do you got?
I don't know, pay attention to strikes and shit and see how it like would affect you, you know, or how you would affect them, that sort of thing. Just pay attention to the shit that's going on around the world. It matters.
You were not incorrect in that statement at all. But yeah, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the flippity flip. Bye.
Later.